A Rhythm Matters presentation.
And welcome back to Rhythm Matters Studios. Last time we got together, we were studying a particular rhythm, and this evening we're going to take on another 6/8 rhythm. This rhythm actually has 6 parts. And the 6 parts is a low bell, a high drum, a mid drum, a low drum, and a shaker. Shaker A, shaker, variety of different shakers can be used. Today we're going to be using these, and just to show you, and the part's fairly simple, but to get a more dynamic sound, I'm actually going to be converting over and using the maracas, which gives us a great sound. The Abakua, done in 6/8. I'm going to show the bell pattern here. The bell pattern is, again, a clave pattern. Not too tricky, but can be, unless you're used to it. It's done in that 6/8, and it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. And you'll notice it starts off on the 1. That bell pattern sounds like this. That's done with a low bell. That is the low bell part. It is a clave. It is the key that holds the Abakua together. And there you have it. Done in a fairly decent clip. It's funny, when I was doing the recording on that bell was kind of hard to hold. With nothing else around me, nothing else to keep me in the groove, holding that part down for a couple of minutes to make the recording, it was not too much of a challenge, but I had to do it several times to get it right. There is a high bell part. That high bell part is pretty tough to put in, especially unless you have done it before and know where it goes. It takes a little bit of a practice to put it into the Abakua. And it goes like this. Looks pretty simple. Sounds simple. Actually, it is simple. Until you try to lock it into the Abakua at a 6/8, especially with everything else going on around you. Slowing it down, it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. Notice the 1, there's nothing there. The other bell part, which is the clave, low bell part, actually has a 1. So it's a good place to indicate where you come in. Played at high speed, nice clip, it goes. I think by itself, played naked like this, is fairly simple. Anyone that can hold a tempo could do this part. Putting it in and counting it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. Pretty tricky, but fun. And when it's locked, it sounds awesome. There it is, the 2 bell parts. Of course, now we're going to transfer right into the high drum Kinto part to the Abakua. This one is a very busy part and very simple. It needs the heel-toe action. It's all opens and heel-toe and goes like this. and that's your 1. As in all rhythms, it's essential all parts are gathered together to make the total of the ensemble, obviously. But this high drum part is truly essential and has a real key part in the actual sound of the Abakua. And if you were to count it out, it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. Rhythmmatters.org will have some of this, I call it cheat sheet music, kind of cheats. It's just a tablature. It's not real, you're not reading real drum music. That can be kind of confusing, especially just starting off. Very confusing for me. But as far as the tablature, we definitely supply a JPEG on rhythm.org, and it attaches itself with the playlist. In the playlist, we have a little jukebox there that kind of shows you what the Abakua sounds like. There you have it. You've got the low bell part, you've got the high bell part, and you've just now seen the high drum. Very busy part. At a clip, it goes like this. And there's your 1. All right. Let's move on. This is the drum we're going to use, obviously, for the middle drum part. And this is a kind of a cool part. It has a slap and a ghost tone. An open, slap, ghost tone. Open, slap, ghost tone. Ghost tone meaning it's kind of a fill. It gets lost in the music. You're not going to hear it, but it helps you keep on time. Others might play it without even using it. Depends on how good a person is and how much of an ear they have for the Abakua, where that part goes into that particular rhythm. But when the entire ensemble is playing, that ghost tone is gone. And once again, it's just there to help you. This is how it goes. It goes. You can see I'm emphasizing the ghost tone. Typically, at a fast clip, it's played like this, and you won't even notice the ghost tone. Sounds great when it's locked into that ensemble. This is how we count it. It is counted like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. The 1 is the slap, as where the Kinto part of the Abakua, high drum, it is the open. And if you recall, it was, so that open is crucial, and where you come in is crucial. This is the mid drum part, pretty basic. Let's go over it one more time slow and count it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. The 1, that's where it starts, right there. All right, there you have it, the middle drum part. We're going to switch right over to the low drum part. I've got my low drum right beside me. Now, the low drum part, again, is pretty basic. There's a bass and a slap, a bass and an open, a bass and a slap, and a bass and an open. And that's the rhythm. But yet sounds so beautiful. These parts by themselves, they're kind of cool. They're all right. They have a place. Come together with them, it is a turn on. And I've got my Mac here, GarageBand is up and running. And we'll go ahead and fire it up and let you guys hear it. Okay, so here's what that bass sounds like. It goes like this. Played by itself, not in time, not counting it, or trying to put it into other parts where it locks, where it belongs. It's very structured. It's a cool sound. And you could probably play it at almost any tempo or any, you could do it to 4/4 if you had to or wanted to. But in order for this to work with the Abakua, it has to be done in 6/8. Let me count it for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and that's the 1. That bass is the 1. Kinto open, mid drum slap, low drum bass. Imagine that coming together. That sounds awesome. This is a great rhythm. The Abakua is kind of busy. It's got 2 bell patterns playing, dancing around, 3 drum parts, all very different, dancing around. And then of course the shaker is an awesome part, and I'll show you that. Let's go back over this real slow, and I'll count it. The bass is on the left hand, slap is on the right, bass is on the left, open is on the right. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. There it is, left hand on the 1. You've seen all 3 drum parts, and when they play together, it sounds awesome, especially when they're played with guys that can actually play the parts and are not still working on dynamics, are not beginners, and actually have the bass and the slaps and the opens and the technique. Very important. The technique, all the technique in the world. Takes time to develop it. Once you have, and you get the slaps, that's very important. Makes these rhythms come to life. At a fast clip, this is what it sounds like. So, we're going to move on to the shaker part. You can be pretty talented with the shaker. I have to admit I'm not altogether that good with it, but I do all right and love it. It's a stand-up instrument. We won't be playing it here in this rhythm, but because this is a 2-hand shaker part, we're going to go ahead and use the shakers that I have here in front of you, and that part goes like this with both hands, and then the left hits one, the right hits one, the left hits one, the right hits one, and they come together. And it's real funky, because when you count this one in, tough to count it in even, but when you count this in and do it right, it sounds great. So let me play it without counting it, and here's what it sounds like. And that's what it looks like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1.